Intro not necessary. Y'all know who I am. Let's just get into it. This is the process. So about this belt, this is the 13mm black leather belt from Rogue. Every time my clients ask me what brand of belt should I get, I always recommend either Rogue, SBD, or Pioneer. You cannot miss with those brands. They are the highest quality belts in the market. So after prepping and priming the belt, I started off by painting the Geto statue right in the middle. So instead of starting from left to right, traditionally speaking, I decided to go from the middle out. This way, I don't have to worry about symmetry. The client requested that I paint the entire Akatsuki with the Geto statue and Orochimaru included, so that comes to about 13 characters overall. Placing the Geto statue as the centerpiece ensures that I will have 6 characters on each side. I really love the way this has started out already. The first Akatsuki member I'm painting is Obito, just to the right of the statue. I started with a rough, upside-down egg shape for his head, and then I proceeded with lining out his robe and basic pose. I don't typically do any pencil sketches when I'm painting, but I do create concept art so that way my clients can see what the belt may look like when it's finished. And I don't even spend a whole lot of time when creating the actual concept art itself, but I do spend a lot of time collaborating with the client, brainstorming, and research. This makes creating the concept art so much easier and faster, and time is always the enemy when it comes to being a full-time artist. Once I get the basic shape down, I then add a few more details like the spiral on his mask. I didn't like that black outline so much, so I painted over it with orange. One of the best things about painting is that when you make a mistake, you can always paint over it. Next, we have Madara. Same process, started out with the upside down egg shape thing for his head, placing him next to Obito, just filling in all the necessary details. I know it looks kind of wonky and all you see are these color blobs, but just trust the process, okay? It's kind of a very convenient skill actually. When you're painting, as long as I have, you can just kind of imagine what you're painting in your head and it just works. I imagine it, I trust the process, and then after a while you get something like this. Something recognizable. I'm just adding in some jagged shape for his hair right now, not really trying to get into details too much because I still have to paint the background. You can probably already tell based on the color that I'm going to paint Madara's Susanoo Jutsu for his background. Of course, I don't have a whole lot of room, so I just ended up painting some sort of indication where the ribs should be, not the full Susanoo. I then added some highlights on his Rinnegan. Moving on to Itachi, same process, adding some of the basic shapes before I started adding some actual details. This one was a tough angle because of where he was looking at and the way he was posed. My goal is to not just paint each character side by side, but to actually add dynamics between them, a synchronicity of sorts. Making sure that when you look at the whole painting, you'll actually believe that they all exist in the same plane of reality. Here you see I'm adding more details, starting with his gorgeous locks. I mean, no wonder he unalived everyone in his clan. He wanted to be the only one to have that beautiful hair, I guess. Going slow and easy here for the hair. I know while it's part of the process, I still want to make sure that I don't mess up and end up covering some of the good details I already put in his eyes. I mean, look at those eyes. Damn. And just for fun, I added a crow on his shoulder and then the Amatesaru in the foreground. Alright, who's next? Oh yeah, the fishman guy. Arlong, right? Yeah, he's actually really easy to paint. It's his sword or whatever weapon he has that has a lot of details. So for that, I just kind of lay down the basic shape again, and then I added the gills or fins on it. I still don't know what it is, to be honest, but the key thing is to make sure that the base of each fin is darker than the tip. Just remember your lighting fundamentals and imagine the shape and where the light would hit, then paint that. Adding the final detail on his eye here. So the next character is actually my favorite character of all the Akatsuki. And you would be right if you guessed Deidara. I gotta stick with my fellow artist, right? No, but seriously, I just love the way he fights. His exploding jutsu, his paper sculptures, I think all of that is really cool. He can even use his paper sculptures for flying and reconnaissance. That's really useful when you're trying to capture the one-tail Jinchuriki. As you see here, I got a little bit too impatient. I started adding more details on his face before I set up his spinal pose. Not a whole lot to say or show about Sasori. I really didn't like his character that much. This is where not having enough time comes into play. I think I was about halfway through this belt and then I realized that I only have about a week left or so on this belt before I have to start working on the next one. This is the second time I've painted paint on a weightlifting belt and I feel like I have not done his character justice. Like every time I paint him, he's in some sort of weird pose or weird angle. If I have to redo it again, I'd probably make a different style choice. Now Conan is dope. From her character design to her unique paper jutsu, I just love how she is able to manipulate paper and make wings out of them. Very cool. I also added their home base in the background. It's sort of giving that neo steampunk-ish industrial kind of vibe. Moving on to Nagato, the real pain, the one who's pulling all the strings from behind the scene. Starting out with the basic shapes and color, then adding a little bit of outline, and then with the magic of editing, boom, you have Nagato. This was inspired by the cave scene where Naruto attacked him non-stop with a Tok no Jutsu. Now Hidan is such a unique character. Apologies for the lack of footage on him. I was actually running out of time at this point and I still had Orochimaru, Zetsu, and Kaguso to paint. Here are some of the sneak peek for Kakuzo and Hidan. On top of not having enough time, I also broke my brush. Coincidentally, this is also my only fine brush at that moment. I did go to the art store the next day and I found some Hobby Lobby branded fine tip brushes. This quickly became my favorite brushes and you can find this at the modeling aisle. Not in the fine art brushes aisles, but in the toy modeling aisle. Sneak peek for Zetsu, really weird character, but dang, the way he just manipulated everyone, that was some real villain stuff.
And now, this world shall know pain. Almighty push. Akatsuki wa tsudo. Ona, Itachi, Kisame, Sasori. Kakuzo, Hidan, Orochima, そしてZetsu。行くぞ。
After I completed the belt, I then sealed it with a glossy top coat finish. And with just 10 seconds and one stroke of the brush, this video went on to amass over 2.2 million views on TikTok.
What paintbrushes do you use?
So this is why I love Hobby Lobby, because they have these 6-piece brush set that are very fine and detailed. These are normally for painting detailed models, but I use it for my belt so I can get that crispy, nice, straight lines. So I love coming here and getting like just a handful of these and adding it to my collection because I go through these like crazy. So yeah, get this brush from Hobby Lobby. Hey everyone, if you guys like this video, please like and share, and don't forget to subscribe. I just created this channel as a home to all my weightlifting belt videos, and hopefully soon for all my fitness anime related videos. Thank you all for watching and see you guys on the next video.